All right, we're here for our closing match tonight for week 2, Lost Caverns of Ixalan. And we have Tony G here. Why not? Rock playing against Rickle Pick is back in the feature match area. Actually, it's just an alternate account being used once again, this time by Christopher G, otherwise known as Oompa Loompa. So, what's going on in his hand over there as we see this
Uh,
Iron Paw aspirant coming down?
we got a few lands, another forest, two swamps, the old Choop Choops, the green glyph,
Okay.
the 7 mana nurturing bristleback, and then a cartographer's companion.
All right.
Let's just call him companion.
So we got some Abzan cards going on over here and some Jeskai cards on this side. This Hidden Volcano is going to open up most of the important parts of Tony's hand, namely being the Rumbling Rock Slide. He also has Furnace Gremlin, which I believe was from Mom, I think? It was a 2 mana 1/2, and you could pay some red mana to pump its power. When it died, you incubated, equal to its power. But he drew the Waterwind Scout for the turn, which is quite a bit better than that. And he has a Sunbird Standard, the card that we found out what it did in the last match. And a couple more pieces of interaction here. So a bit of a reactive rest of his hand, but a good start here. And I guess we'll all get to see what's in his hand now. He's got three, like I said, three pieces of interaction, the Sunbird and a creature.
Definitely not something you want to see.
I mean, Deep Cavern Bat, such a good card, but I mean, I guess you take the Rumbling Rock Slide. Like, usually you just take, like, whatever removal can kill it for the cheapest. That's sort of
Yeah.
been my experience with this Deep Cavern Bat. But what a good card. And he has taken the bounce spell rather than the removal. Yeah, this Deep Cavern Bat, this is like, I mean, this is a very old effect dating back to, like, quite a long time ago in Magic, like Mesmeric Fiend, and we've got variations on it. This has got to be one of the best ones yet, just the flying and lifelink.
Oh, 100%. Reminds me of the Kite Sail Freebooter.
Yeah,
Just
which
with
was a
one less
1/2.
toughness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that
But
that
lifelink,
had
though. I'll take the lifelink.
yeah, that one also had benefit of being a pirate in that set. That was not irrelevant. So it looks like Tony's gonna he's gonna explore here and bank on maybe drawing a land to cast a Sunbird. I feel like you can just cast Sunbird and then use the Sunbird to crack the map, right?
It'll be pretty safe here.
Yeah, but he does end up being able to cast the Furnace Gremlin, but I think I probably prefer developing my mana, just getting that Sunbird, and then you can explore anyway. It's not like he's like in danger of falling super behind on board. Like his creature's already bigger than his opponents.
Let's see. For turn, there's a Watley Strike that was drawn, and still
Okay,
a bunch of these lands.
all right. So does he have options other than the Whatley's Final Strike there?
I mean, I highly doubt he wants to a Whirlpool of 3/3.
Unlikely.
Choop is worth
Oh,
absolutely nothing right now. It's a vanilla 3/2 as it currently stands.
yeah, Chupacabra. Echo.
I mean, I guess you could play it in Glyph. That's the world we live in.
Not sure. That doesn't even kill anything he wants to die, so.
Do I think he wants to do it? No. Might he? You never know.
Is he okay? I was wondering if he was thinking about just using the Whatley's Final Strike to kill the 1/2, but that doesn't seem worth it. I think he is
No, he's
doing
been
as you
bouncing over the
stated.
Chupacabra.
He's going to probably kill this 2/3, I'm assuming.
See? It's not a world you want to live in, might we?
Yeah. I mean, look, I was in day 2 of the Open and I cast a 4 mana 3/2 with no text on it. All right, I did. That was a thing I did, and it was correct. Um, I mean, obviously you don't want to cast it like that, but when it's turn 4, if you got nothing better to do, you just put a body in play. I mean, feels bad, but that's what
Yeah,
you.
sometimes you just gotta do, right?
Yeah, I'm just. Tony just like doesn't want to play his Sunbird standard here. Like the Chupacabra Echo, like he's at 17. He could take a hit from it. Like I think this is the second turn in a row. I think I would have preferred to get the Mana Rock out there just to have more options, right? Like like spending your whole turn on a mana rock obviously limits what you can do that turn, but it just opens up what you can do in every subsequent turn.
So we're gonna play the Sunbird now.
Yeah, so he can use it to transform his incubator into a meager little 1/1, which I mean, it's better than not having it.
Yeah, I guess here he goes getting in and just drops down the bristleback.
Yeah.
Says, "Show me what you got."
All right. Yeah. I mean, we know he has 2 removals. Yeah. He's also Tony did drop Panicked Altasaur last turn, the 4/5 that can deal 2 damage by tapping it to an
The
opponent.
card is like such an annoying all-star. Like just having the reach, and then like if nothing happens, just pinging is
Yeah.
like really
Yeah,
good.
it was funny because I believe they had almost the same card in Archer Machine, and it just wasn't really a player in the format. There was a card that was almost the same as that. Yeah, now this is going to be a big turnaround turn here. Like Tony basically had the early game advantage with those creatures, but fell behind on mana, and now is getting outpaced. But he does have a 5th land, so he can. Oh, I was going to say he can Rumbling Rock Slide the 5/5, but he's going to exile it instead.
It's understandable. Doesn't want to deal with it. I mean,
Yeah,
he does have a
he could have rock
dead
slided it
weight
because
drawing
he
for
now
turn.
has 5 lands, but now we got a Llama coming in.
Question is, does he dead weight here?
I don't think it's necessary. I mean,
I
next
don't think so
like he
either.
has to chump block literally next turn, so. And I mean, yeah, we got he's doing it this turn. Yeah, so this game, like I said, Tony got the early jump on board, but this is now very much in Chris's court here. He's just deciding how he wants to approach the turn, but only really able to interact with one thing. He's just taking almost lethal. So he's seeing I can craft a 3/3 flyer. I think that's what he's thinking about here.
Don't know
Oh
how.
no,
I
he
mean,
can.
I
No,
guess.
he doesn't. He doesn't actually have a blue card.
Ooh.
His one blue card got exiled, which was the Waterwind Scout.
Yeah, it's just gonna feel even worse.
So actually, it's only a 2/2. So at best, it'll trade with the. Oh no, he's just gonna kill that. So he's still gonna be taking 5 here. Because the land will attack for 3 and it'll pump the bat to a 2/2.
For turn, we did get the 8-drop Bellinger. Is that what it's called?
What's the 8/drop?
The black card.
Oh, the bringer of
Last look.
the last something or other.
Yes, the bringer.
Yeah, the
It seems
basically
now we're gonna dead weight.
it's the 8 mana 6/6 that casts living death,
Yeah.
right? It basically
Yeah.
casts a living death upon arriving. Yeah, I've got by that in draft a couple times. Like the game was just humming along. It's like, oh yeah, everything's great. Why are they blocking like this? That's weird. And then that thing just comes down, and they have 6 creatures in play, and I have 2.
They're just like surprise.
Why are they cycling their 7-drop when they're on 7 lands? Like this doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so those 2 games where it just hit me out of nowhere, and it was just like the game went from unlosable to unwinnable in one fell swoop. Which honestly is if you're tapping 8 mana for a card, it should kind of be doing that, right? Anyway,
I like it to win me the game, or at least tilt the game in my favor strongly.
so some nice rares in Tony's deck here. We got 2 copies of Malcolm, which is the 2 mana 2/1 flyer that loots. He has the Belligerent, which is the blue-red rare, the vehicle, Tishana's Tidebinder, and he has a Galleon as well that we saw putting in some work earlier tonight. What's Chris looking at for his deck?
Basically green black base splashing for what looks to be 2 white or a few white cards.
Okay.
The Whirlpool, the Spring Loaded, and really that's about it with a planes and a hidden courtyard.
Okay.
As for anything crazy going on, really nothing wild.
Okay.
We know he has the bringer, he has 2 bristlebacks. I'm really seeing nothing like
I
that
mean,
really popped out to me.
whatever he's doing is working. He's 5-2 so far. So whatever he has done has been effective thus far in the league, and we saw in the first game. Yeah, so Tony is basically playing a 3-color deck. I wouldn't call any of his colors a splash. He's playing like 1, 2, and 3 drops of all the colors. So as long as his mana comes together, it should make it work. This game, he has 3 plains and 2 islands, so 5 lands, and then he's got a couple white creatures. So he's got a Guidewing, which he just drew this turn. And then he's got an Aspirant to follow up to put a counter on it, and he's got a Petrify. So
This is looking a little interesting. So just the 2 lands you see on the field,
yeah,
2 Bristlebacks in hand. Now he does have the 3 mana Eclipse that gives all creatures on board neck 2/2.
okay.
Granted, it costs 2 black, along with Join the Dead that also costs 2 black. So a few uncastables in the hand right now, along with the 1/4 Death Touch in black and the once again Companion.
And Forest Cycling does not get him closer to that 2 black he needs.
Luckily, he did just draw Swamp for a turn,
Okay.
though. But he's going to play Forest? Interesting.
Huh.
I guess he can always sack.
He can hide. He can hide that he's color screwed.
Yeah. Well, he's not really all that color screwed anymore outside of the white. And we know he only plays 2 white cards in the deck. He drew Swamp for turn, and the Vein can become a Swamp, right?
Yeah.
You can sack it for Swamp.
So this hammer is actually gonna kind of mess up his potential plan of killing 2 creatures with his -2/-2. Because I think he was kind of setting up for that, or at least it seemed like
That's what it looked like.
But he's got the plains here, okay. So maybe he was thinking about getting Swamp, but now the counter's on the bird. This one's actually a bird, by the way. He realized it's not really an option to -2/-2 anymore. He needs to
Everything's a
just find an
bird.
answer to the bird. Well, no, this one is actually bird. Just says it on the card. Can't mess that one up. Yeah, so just a Petrify, a Whirlpool, and another land here for Tony. So if Chris, with all of his cards in hand, can get this 3/3 flyer off the board, he can start making some headway. But until then, he's gonna be taking a beating here.
He has to join the dead. I don't really think he wants to use it on the 3/3.
He's might have to, but he needs a second Swamp first.
Yeah.
Right, Stinging Cave Crawler here. When I saw this card, I was like, wow, this card looks great, and it just black kind of ended up being like a step behind some of the other colors, and so that card has not excelled, but I still like it very much.
I mean, it's a 1/3 Death Toucher, right? In my mind, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out what black was trying to do, and I'm still not 100% sure a lot of the time in some of the decks.
Same.
Though I did have success with it in the open, so but that was more on the back of powerful cards rather than like specific synergies.
So let's see. He's thinking about Watley striking the 3/3.
I mean, I think he has to. He's at 8, right? He has. He has to. He has a Death Toucher, so that's pretty safe against pumps. I mean, Tony just has the Whirlpool and another Plains in hand, so he doesn't really have too much going on. This he's kind of he's banking on this 3/3 flyer to do the rest of the damage right now.
Snail first to get some action out of the hand here.
Yeah, just the Plains is going
to land though.
Yeah. Interesting to not attack with the 3/2, but this was actually a kind of an error here because often you want to do it on upkeep to use up your opponent's mana for their turn, but he actually now has access to the Whirlpool that he would not have been able to cast if Chris did it last turn. So I often operate under the idea that if all I'm doing is casting a removal spell, if I know I'm 100% casting that removal spell and nothing else, I'll just do it on my turn, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes him. It looked like he was about to do it. I'm not sure exactly why he waited.
Like,
but I mean,
if I have multiple things I could do, like a counter spell or the removal, obviously I just pass. But if I'm just locked into that as my only possible play, I like just doing it on my turn, even though it may not seem optimal. It's just like if that's the only thing I'm doing, I'm just gonna do it now to not get blown out. I mean,
Yeah.
turns out he had the backup removal with the whirlpool, so it did cost him 3 damage. He did take 3 damage that he didn't have to, but he did get it off the board. And now this gem guard is looking kind of good if Chris doesn't have any way to deal with it.
No, so because we didn't crack, maybe we didn't have a chance to crack the vein earlier, but he's missing a second source of black, so he's gonna have to trump block and then fanatical offering.
Okay, I mean that's fair. Yeah, so the join the dead will kill that. Yeah, that gem guard's another card that I think it's performing exactly as I thought it would, which is like I'll play it if I really need to. like oftentimes I'll have a removal for it and I'll just let my opponent build it up and build it up and spend their resources, and then when it's a 9/9 I'll be like, okay, I'll bounce it or kill it now. Let
Maybe
them.
what turn 5, turn 6, there's typically all kinds of artifacts littered around the field for you to tap for it, so you're not even like losing board presence half the time.
Yeah, I just haven't found it to be like super scary.
I think just having a good 4-drop threat that's like just a vanilla beater is pretty nice sometimes.
Yeah, like I said, I frequently let my opponent build it up. It's like, oh, it's an 8/8. Okay, I can still just abrade it because it's an artifact. Get that out of there. Like red can't usually kill an 8/8 for 2 mana, or really,
No,
or really kill an 8/8 at all often.
unless it's an artifact.
Yeah, in which case it is. Yeah, a lot of the cards are maybe slightly worse because they're artifacts in this set. Like this gem
Yeah,
guard did not really need to be an artifact. Like there's enough trinkety artifacts lying around for the decks that are white and want artifacts that this could have just been a regular creature and would not die to some removal that it does.
it's nice to have a way around it though.
Yeah,
It's like red typically like struggles with like red green decks like in the late game. Like 7/7s just aren't something base red deck is.
yeah,
They didn't kill you by 5. Good luck.
yeah. And we get Rumbling Rock Slide this set too, which also can reach out and
Yeah.
kill something. Usually like max out at five toughness. Like the big red burn spell at common deals 5 usually max.
Interesting. So he's gonna hold the join the dead.
He's just gonna blow up this cartographer's companion, and now he's gonna draw out the removal. So we're back down to very little going on board. What's Chris got left in hand here as we see a diamond pickaxe off the top?
Courtyard, a vein, and still the eclipse, which is going to be pretty bad because it
It's
won't be able to three.
still not gonna work. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
we might be
Tony,
discovering here. Yeah, we're 100% discovering. There
Tony
is
has
nothing.
been expertly, unintentionally playing around -2/-2 to all creatures.
Ooh,
Hate to see that there when you're at 3 life.
yeah. Does Tony have any other gas in hand?
No, well, he's drawn Master's Guide Mural, which is quite the powerhouse of this format.
Yeah, I guess even if he didn't have it, he still has the Discover Land if he wanted.
Yeah, but Master's Guide Mural is just so good.
Did you want a 4/4
I
this
think he said
turn?
I'm gonna pass turn. I'm not gonna show him the mural. Make him answer this first, which I'm not sure I 100% agree with, because if he does remove this, he doesn't have a way to kill him on
Which
his
he's
turn.
going to remove it. He just drew the Vito's Inquisitor, and he's probably going to glyph it.
Yeah. Well, the whirlpool's gonna stop that here. I mean, I suppose
That's one of the game.
knowing that his opponent had the fight spell said, well, if they draw a creature, I have an answer. But looks like this little cat might be doing it here. Yeah, that -2/-2 looked sort of promising in the early game, but the two equipments that Tony drew just made that card completely ineffective.
Funnily enough, it's going out of the deck.
Right? I mean,
Looks like he put in a second Fanatical Offering, thinking about dropping in the Gore Stalker, the thing that when it comes in, both players sack 2 creatures.
yeah, that one I haven't seen too much.
If you can, like, put a bunch of dumb little dudes out early, I think the hard part though is keeping those dumb little dudes.
Yeah, like you have to get to turn 6, and you have to have two garbage creatures in play, and
Yeah,
your opponent has to have two things that are like better than what you have, and you have to not be dead at that point. Like, what's the scenario where that's realistic? You know?
it's asking for a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, because if all your creatures are bad and your opponent only has like two ideally creatures that are good, like you're probably losing the game by a lot on turn 6. All right, Gem Guard goes out. He was not pleased with its performance, and he brought in the Waylaying Pirates, the 4-drop
Oh,
that
the free
tap
three.
something down. Yeah, that card's been a pretty nice role player, I found.
If you have pirates or artifacts, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, well,
Opens up
it's
the
pretty
back.
easy to have artifacts lying around in this set, right?
I mean, I would hope so. I
If,
would
if
hope
if you're
so.
putting it in your deck, it's because it's always tapping something down. Yeah, we usually get this ability on smaller creatures, like a 3-mana 2/2. Like this is kind of a sizable source of this effect.
Interesting enough, this hand doesn't look that great. Two veins, a swamp, the 1/4 Death Toucher, um, the Mycoid for 4, that Paladin for 5, and the Gore Stalker that was sideboarded in.
Yeah. So we got a potentially scary 2-drop here in Captain Storm coming down next turn, but he does not have any artifacts to follow it up with. So it won't be getting pumped just yet. But he does have a nice rare that he could cast as of next turn, which is Tishana's Tidebinder. The 3-mana flash that counters an ability of some kind. Activate or triggered ability, and then the permanent loses all abilities.
As
So,
good as that card is, I don't think there's many triggers happening on this side currently.
okay. I mean, I believe in the open somebody countered a discover land trigger. So opponent tap
That's
5 mana,
pretty.
put their land in the graveyard, and effectively got time walked.
Hey, I was just gonna say, just time walk me, will you?
Yeah, it works with craft as well. So Tony does have 3 white cards in hand. He will have a white thanks to the Sunken Citadel, which is that rare land that comes into play tapped. That you could choose a color, and it taps for that color, or it taps for 2 mana to activate abilities of lands. Um, Kind of reminiscent of Edgewall in a bit from WoW, playing in a similar space. And he decided to neither play his tap line last turn nor cast his Tishana's Tidebinder. So kind of just didn't do anything on his third turn. He just wanted to have the option open of the Tidebinder. I mean, he can hit Promising Vein with that, and it's kind of a stone rain, right?
Are you sure you can hit Promising Vein?
It's
Are
an
you
activated
positive?
ability, right?
How much are you willing to bet on this?
Is it? It doesn't
No,
work.
you're right. You're right. It doesn't work.
I mean, if it works on a Discover land, it's got to work on that, right?
Yeah, because activated. Oh,
Yeah.
ooh,
So he just stone ran the opponent. There you go.
that is just
That's a
so
brutal
mean.
way. Yeah, it was worth leaving up the mana for. I think it was worth setting 3 mana on fire last turn to do that, I suppose. So, not wanting to deal with the potential of Captain Storm, despite no artifacts in hand, he just wants to get rid of that. The Promising Vein did still net him his 1/1 here for the descend, but yeah, he's down a land. Never
Yeah,
fun to
which is
see
a little
that.
hurtful.
Yeah,
He
it's
was one
brutal.
away from the Boar Stalker, so I guess we're probably just Promising Veining, and I still don't know if this Paladin does.
So
Queen's Ray
Malcolm's coming
Paladin.
in despite having flash. He just wants to put a counter on it. Okay, kind of letting your opponent potentially kill your flash creature that gets you value. A little risky, but he said, well, he used a removal last turn, so yeah, I feel okay about this.
I'm curious. There's a way that he can set up this Gore Stalker.
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard, especially with that 1/2 cat now in play, because that thing is just completely pointless.
Do you know what the Queen's Ray Paladin does?
The Queen's Bay Paladin is 5 mana 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, you can reanimate a vampire. from your graveyard, and it'll gain the finality counter from that's new for this set.
Okay. So I guess I see what he's doing here. He promising Vayne to get the fungal, then just trade 2 fungals.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the problem is that Tony also has the mischievous pup in his hand, which he could just
Ooh.
flash in, and
Grab back the Tidebinder.
he can bring back Tidebinder. Yeah, he if he had one more
I would.
mana, he could even counter the trigger. But
That's disgust. Oh my gosh.
if he had one more mana, he could counter the trigger. Actually, he has a brackish blunder, so he could even still do that if he wanted to. He has the bounce spell, but I think he's just going to let it happen. Okay, interesting. I think he just wants to trade off his the mischievous pup for one of these creatures, and then he can whirlpool the 6/6 after. So what's left in hand there for Chris?
The rampaging Spiketail and this Queen's Bay Paladin we've been speaking
Okay,
about.
so we had a big dino and a big vampire. Yeah, so we have 2 quicksand whirlpools, a brackish blunder, and a mischievous pup. So a bunch of interactive things here.
Yeah.
Chris is. Chris. I don't know what he's thinking about here. He should be just attacking and seeing what comes of it.
Believe he may have lagged because he already chose the 2 fungals, and there was a long pause there, and it's
Oh,
intermittent right now, so we're just waiting.
okay. Because it looks like he's ready to go to combat on our side, so maybe he needs to. His arena may be slowing down here, but
Did Tony already sacrifice the Iron Paw
yeah,
and
they're gone.
the okay? So from the other side, we didn't see any of that.
Okay, so it looks like he's frozen. So maybe you can send Chris a message to maybe reload his arena here.
Let's see.
Because as long as Tony stays in the game won't we won't lose our
No
progress in the
messes
game.
necessary. It seems Chris understood the assignment.
Oh, is he restarting there?
Yep. I'm curious if
Okay.
we're given a Johnny logo. Yeah. Did he have an Johnny avatar to begin with?
No, but when you crash arena and come back in the middle of the game, you get
Yeah, I
an
was
Ajani.
curious. I was.
Still looks like Nissa to us, but
I wasn't sure if it counted for friendly matches also, or just the others.
yeah,
But I guess
no,
it would make sense.
yeah. It just gives you the Ajani because it's first on the list. So mischievous pup is going to come down. He's bouncing a
Interesting.
land.
Huh.
Why is he bouncing a land? I wonder. Curious about that one, but
Yeah, he could have just declined it, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think he thought it was a forced thing.
Okay. Unless Tony's just out here styling, you know?
I don't think so. But he does have 2 whirlpools left in hand here, so he will be able to deal with the Gore Stalker once it attacks, and then he'll be able
Yeah,
to
I would
get rid of
think
another threat as well.
Chris is gonna drop the spike. Yep, he's gonna drop the spike tail here. Sadly, the whirlpool gets around that.
Yeah, that will not be effective against this particular style of removal. Yeah, it's a nice one.
You
And we
just gotta
got
feel like your opponent just has all the answers right now, right?
yeah, and he has another whirlpool, so he's not. He's still at 20. Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, he's drawn clay fired bricks, which is right up my
That's a
alley.
beater.
I mean, it replaces itself. It gains you life. It makes 2/2s. I mean, those are things I like from Magic cards. I think.
I like this from Tony to play the clay fired bricks first. So Chris doesn't know he has another. He drew a plane, right?
Well, he discarded a planes with Malcolm,
Okay.
but then he got to tutor the planes with the bricks.
Fair, fair,
And
fair.
now the spike tail is going to hit the bricks.
As we browse through the graveyard. Oh,
All right. So no vampires to speak of, but you got a 5 mana 5/4, which is better than not having it. It's kind of like the Chupacabra Echo. Sometimes you just have to play not amazingly statted creature to go with, just to not fall too far behind. But This Malcolm is just able to cast stuff for free now, so this is going to take over the game without an answer because he just gets to play a 6-drop for absolutely nothing.
which is insane.
Well, yeah, I mean it does take
He still
work
can
of like
flip his
of hitting
brick,
four
right?
times, but like that's an investment worth protecting, right, Malcolm? Like if you get it going, like do you need to do everything in your power to keep that in play?
See, now here's the very sad part. Now he draws his removal.
I mean, now that a 6-drop just appeared on the battlefield out of nowhere for free, yeah.
Yeah, and then Clay Fired Bricks is about to drop out two more 2/2s for you.
Yeah, so the if he does transform the bricks, the 7/6 has a pretty nice attack. It'll take down both creatures.
Yeah, I mean the only thing left in the hand is a staggering size, which tapped out doesn't really do anything right now.
Yeah, the Clayfire Bricks has just been a super impressive card for me.
Yeah,
I've
I
really liked
definitely
the
glossed over it at first, but I definitely see the power. I did not realize it makes two dudes.
yeah, and now there's a Master's Guide mural in hand, which can also be devastating. So he's just weighing his option whether he wants to transform the bricks or just get a 4/4 into play. I mean, either way, he gets 4 power and 4 toughness. It's just how does he want to do it?
I would think flipping the bricks over now would probably be the better play.
No, he's decided he'll take the 4/4 here, and he's not going to attack. He wants to flip his bricks and be able to attack and kill both the creatures. We know that might not be the case with the pump spell in hand for Chris. Did he draw anything relevant this turn?
Not a pump, but a sack in the Fanatical Offering.
Okay, well that's gonna pair. That's gonna line up nicely with the petrify that was just drawn. So, due to only having 2 white sources, if Tony petrifies, it'll be the only thing he does this turn because both of those artifacts require 2 white sources to transform.
Question: Can the Gremlin pump?
Yeah, it costs I believe 1 and a red. So he's just gonna attack all here, and
Yeah.
with
Is that lethal?
it's looking like it's gonna be finished. Yeah, unless he draws something
Yeah,
here.
he did, but it's an enchantment called Deadweight, which currently right now is
That's not gonna do it. Yeah. Yeah, so he can block, he can pump his guy, but he'll.
be short by 1.
So the gremlin, I believe, gets +2/+0.
Is it +2 or is it +1?
Oh, it's +1. Okay, so not quite enough here.
Yeah, so just
Well, with the trample, no, he has to pump. He'll play the pump spell, so he won't take trample. Yeah. So he'll be going to 1 in this case. Or no, 0. Oh, he got up to 4. Okay, never mind. He had enough. All right. It's past my bedtime, so I missed out on the math at the end there. But
we counted the math. We just didn't do the math. Like we knew it was 3 pumps, but we didn't count the actual 1 damage you already had.
there you go. Yeah, so we see Tony G taking down this match on the power with some power for artifacts and some good removal. And congratulations to Tony G on his win here this evening. And we'll hope to see everybody back next week.